From Wayward Social in Marshalltown, this is Bobcat Live.
Welcome into Bobcat Live outside of Wayward Social. We're out in the sun tonight. A great crowd along with just a beautiful, beautiful weather. Though it is going to get a little bit warm, in the shadows is where Coach Adam Goodvin and I reside here. Coach, 3-1. Get away from it. All the film and all the stats, at the end of the day, the most wins in the last 3 years you've accomplished by Game 4. How do you feel being 3-1?
Well, I wish we were 4-0.
Right,
but
right.
We'll take it. That's where we're at right now,
Yep.
And we're hopeful to get more.
Yeah, you look at Friday night's matchup. Des Moines East was able to do some nice things. It was a game it was the best of times, worst of times, but resulted in a 29-27 victory for the Bobcats. You've said it many times in post-game interviews. It's when we look at the tape, we're not going to be as great as we think we are or as bad as we think we are. Since Friday, what did you see from that competition last Friday?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's never. That's what we tell the kids all the time. It's never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is.
Right.
And, you really got to lock in on the minor details of what you got to improve on, and you got to look at all three phases of the game. And there's always going to be something you got to get better at, and we want to make sure we notice the good things, let them know when they're doing things the right way, because you want to create habits, and when the bad things are there, we've got to fix them, and it's a huge benefit to be able to utilize that film and improve in all areas.
And you talk about breaking it down in those three segments of the game, and you look offensively, the Cats, you were able to run the football over 300 yards again. What is it about your rush attack that's enabled not just sustained drives, but you've also been able to hit home runs, the 95-yarder by England being an example of that? What are you seeing in the maturation of that machine in the run game?
Well, I wish we were able to sustain a few more longer drives.
Right.
It seems at times we're scoring too quick,
Yep.
which it sounds like you're like, why is that a problem? Well, I mean, our defense is out there for way too long, and we had a really long drive there, the first drive of the opening second half against Mason City, and came away with a field goal, but. We're trying to get better and control the game a little bit from the offensive standpoint, but I think, as a whole, we're just trying to get better in all phases, and that's going to come, I think, with repetitions, and I think our kids are really, really understanding the big picture. I feel like I say that all the time, but we see it every day too. They're understanding what we're trying to accomplish from a scheme point versus just simply doing their job, and they know where the football's going, and they're executing. So again, just trying to get better every day at that stuff.
And, to put validity to your point of scoring too quick, there's this weird stat that a team that returns the opening kickoff, actually their percentage to lose jumps. It's a weird stat that doesn't make any sense, but sometimes just getting quickly off the field can have negative repercussions, even if it's a good result. One of those things that caused us from not being able to have those sustained drives were the turnovers. When you look at an offense where there's so many different decisions you have to make, and then, strip sacks from the blind side are kind of hard as a quarterback to hold on to that. What are you teaching week to week to try to really step up that ball security?
I think it's just reiterating how important it is to trust your eyes. We talk about eye discipline a lot and putting the ball where it needs to be, and then trusting what we do every single day in practice. We do the very basics, first step drills, and everything we do every single day, and it starts from there. You get from there and then make your reads and then go execute, and you got to do it at full speed too.
Yeah.
There's times where we get pretty lazy and we're going at 70% and 80%, whatever, but it's got to be 100% every time if we want to execute and be effective. And it's just a lot of reminders.
Yeah, and you look at that special teams side, there's been some big plays in the special teams. They've led up a couple big plays as well. One of my side favorite things to do during a broadcast is watch Ken Winkler after a good kick or a bad kick. Maybe what can you say about the maturation? What are you looking for still in that special teams side?
I think it comes down to just consistency as well. I think, we spend a lot of time on special teams and making sure our kids understand the importance of that, because we have lost games from special teams in the past, and we've won games, I feel, from that as well. And it's not a time to take plays off. And, I think it's just consistency with our effort in there. I mean, we do have a lot of guys playing a lot of football, both sides of the ball plus special teams. And, you got to give 100% on that as well. And that can really dictate the outcome of a game, and just getting them to understand that.
Well, and you even see with the 2-point conversion that was you guys were able to turn back on the defensive side of that special teams. But then looking at the defense, that was a really interesting one Friday night. They gave up quite a few yards. You were rotating in a lot of different linebackers there to start that second half, where we saw a lot of younger guys that maybe we've seen in spots, but they were playing some big minutes coming out of the half. But then you see 3 red zone turnovers. If a defense can cause 3 red zone turnovers, that's a big deal. What can you say about the effort to force those turnovers, and then what are some things that we're looking to kind of tighten the screws on that?
Yeah, I think our kids showed a lot of resilience. I mean, it was a bend but don't break type of thing. We obviously broke a few times, and that's just natural to the game. But the ability for them to just keep fighting and keep coming back and trying to win that next play, I think, is the key takeaway from last Friday night. I think we felt like we should have won the game by maybe a few more scores, but that wasn't the case. And, but they got the job done, and that's what matters most. And, I think East had that super long drive, and they fumbled on the 5, and we scored the very next play. So there's a prime example of, maybe scoring too quick, because then the defense is right back out there again. So, but we're not going to complain too much about scoring.
And for those of you stat buffs at home, the 95-yard run was the 3rd longest rushing touchdown in 5A this year. So a couple people got 98-yarders, and I'm like, you're really busting it at 98.
We were trying to figure out today in school what the school record is for longest touchdown run, and couldn't find it.
It's 95 yards now. If I'm Tyler England, that's what I say. You can't find it. It's mine. Flip that to you have Kennedy this week, which is an interesting opponent. They played a somewhat tight. It was basically within a couple scores with Waukee. Waukee's a little bit down, but you never can really tell on a metro school where they're at. They beat the brakes off of North Lynn, who lost a lot. They were very good last year. North Lynn's not as good this year. Lost to Cedar Rapids Prairie, so not a lot of common opponents. They seem to be pretty efficient in the pass game. What are you looking on tape when you see Kennedy coming into town Friday?
Yeah, I think offensively, scheme-wise, they're pretty balanced. They've got a couple running backs that they go to, and they're talented. I think we've seen some more talented backs so far this year, and we will the rest of the year. But they're good football players. Their quarterback does a good job of getting the ball into their playmakers' hands. They've got some speed at receiver. Big tight end, 6'4", 220 kid. That's a junior. That's a heck of a ball player based on what we're seeing on film, but. Defensively, they're going to show an odd stack, which is something that we have not seen since implementing this offense. We got a lot of information on it, so we feel like we've got a good game plan going in, and it's just a matter of executing now. But they're going to be physical and downhill players. We just got to do our job and trust ourselves.
And then flip the last thing I want to ask you, because I was going to talk to Coach Furch, because in the 3-4 defense, I think when you switch from a really good run team to more balanced to a pass, a lot of that lies on linebackers. And so you look at those 4 linebackers, they're not a tall group. You're looking at a 6'4" tight end, and they've played some bigger tight ends. Also that support in the run game. What are you looking for in that foursome to really step up? After last week, they had some ups and downs.
Yeah, I think, again, with that group, we're looking for just a little more consistency as far as making our reads and then reacting. We read pass, we got to get to our drops, and if we read run, we see pulling guards, things like that. We got to get downhill and make plays and even blow up lead blockers and just get into the mix. Get your hat in there and make something good happen.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing if the Cats can go to 4-1 tomorrow night. Of course, that game will be at Leonard Cole Field. Come on out. If you can't make it, of course, tune into KFJB-TV. Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck tomorrow night. And when we come back, we will have Jacob Hayes and Talon Halstead. They're much taller than me, so we are going to make them sit down here on Bobcat Live.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Go to AdletEngraving24.com. That's AdletEngraving24.com and grab your fall sports shirts. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print Company, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Go Cats!
Welcome back into Bobcat Live. We are outside of Wayward Social, and that sun is coming straight at the eyes. But up here, if you can't see them or they can't see you, it's Talon Halstead to my left, followed by Jacob Hayes. Gentlemen, 3-1, 4 weeks in. Coach said 4-0. I think we'd all like to be 4-0. But Talon, you're looking at this 4 weeks in. How are you feeling so far about the season?
I feel like we've been playing a lot better than the last 2 years, obviously. I don't know.
So you're looking at playing better over the last couple years, and that's included a position change for you.
Yeah.
You're now on that defensive end out on the outside there, where you get to put your hand on the ground, but you get to use your length. What has it meant to you playing that defensive end? Is it something that you're really finding your feet in, really enjoying? Do you feel like you're growing week by week?
Well, yeah. First, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't really comfortable with making the switch, but I feel like the coaches just helped me adjust to it, and I've just been getting better week by week. I'm obviously not the best at it. It's my first year, but
you're making plays. That's one thing that we'll see is as you get more and more comfortable, that length is something unique that you bring, especially in that front seven. Jacob, you're sitting at 3-1. From your perspective, how's the season as a team going in your mind?
I think it's been really solid. We feel good. Hopefully we can keep racking them up. We feel like we've kind of maybe taken the foot off the gas in the last couple wins we've had and could have probably played better, especially in the second half. But we're looking to build off it. We're excited to keep winning.
And so you're looking at that, just one in your back pocket, and your role is really unique this year. You played a lot of tight end in junior high. That's watching you in 8th grade and stuff. You split out, play tight end. You're playing some tight end now, but then you also, I believe in every game, not sure about Mason Say I wasn't here, you've played at least a snap at quarterback. What is that in your brain? Because you're playing, you have like this half and half where you almost have to switch of what position. How are you coping with that? How are you adjusting to that?
It's kind of just being ready to play. I'm always, more prepared to play tight end just because that's where I'm starting. And then, if Jameson goes out or he needs a break, it just kind of flips to where I'm like, okay, now I got to go back to all the footwork and all the reads and everything. So
Your quarterback rating is like 350 right
great.
now. You're 2 for 2 with a tutty. So that quarterback rating, it's got to be first in the state. So I would be promoting that whenever you talk to Jameson. Just say, look at the quarterback rating. But you look at this, we're now 3-1. You're playing some defensive backfield as well. Defense has not been something you played at the varsity level. How are you adjusting to that? What's that been like for you?
It's a lot different watching film, that's for sure. I haven't really watched any defensive film ever before this year.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of been adjusting and trying to learn how people, their routes, all that stuff. It's just been a lot, but I think I'm getting it down as the weeks go.
And so, Talon, when you look at just coming in this weekend, but really looking at the bigger part of this season for you, what are your hopes personally? What are you hoping to accomplish personally this year for the rest of the year?
Just play my role in winning the games, I just want to hopefully get a playoff game,
Yeah, I think that playoff game would be a big deal, and Kennedy's one that you've got to get this weekend. Jacob, as you look at that Kennedy film, what is something that jumps off to you, either offensive or defensively, from them?
They're a lot more physical defensively than some of the teams we've played. They kind of fill the gaps a lot harder with they kind of have a 3-3 stack where the linebackers are stacked right behind, and they just fill every gap up. So we're going to have to really focus on our blocking and focus on our paths more than kind of worrying about a guy, because they're going to go left, they're going to slant right, all that stuff. So. And
last question, you and I were talking about Sunday, is in the state of Iowa, high schoolers can actually have NIL deals. So if you could get an NIL, I want to answer from both of you. What would you want? What business do you want to get an NIL deal with? And it is not sponsored anyway for Bobcat Live, unless it is, and then we will make mention of it. Talon, who do you want commercial?
Probably something in relation to like clothing, or probably like a Nike or like a Jordan.
All right, we got Nike, shooting high. All right, Jacob.
I got to get my my McDonald's meal.
McDonald's, all right. You know what? They're not shooting low, folks. You can't aim to the top if you don't reach for it. That's been Talon Halstead and Jacob Hayes. When we come back, we'll get off the gridiron and continue on digging into Bobcat athletics here on KFJB-TV.
Brown Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear. Choose from New Balance, On, Keen, Echo, and much more. Brown Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and European footwear, carrying multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff is available to give you a personalized experience and can find the right shoes for what you need. Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
Craving something sweet and savory? Head to your Marshalltown Dairy Queen, 711 North 3rd Avenue and 2107 South Center Street. Try the blizzard of the month, the Reese's Caramel Craze. It's packed with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, salted caramel truffles, and rich chocolate shavings. But hurry, it's only here for a limited time. And don't miss a DQ Classic, 4-piece chicken strip baskets for just $7.49 all month long. All white meat strips, crispy fries, warm Texas toast, and your favorite dipping sauce. Get yours now at Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live, just outside of Wayward. And let me tell you, the guests here, they are, if I were as the gentleman talking about NIL, I would have said Ray-Ban 500 times sitting up here, because we are right in the sun. But do want to shout out, this is your only Central Iowa Seattle Mariners fan podcast, also doing Bobcat Live. First-time AL West champs since 2001. So shout out to the Mariners. Nobody in Central Iowa cares, but I've got the mic. So we're going to the golf links, and we have both Trey Mishek, Sr., along with Coach Lucas Johnson. Coach, the meets are continually going, continue to move forward. You got a victory over Mason City this week. How's the season going so far for you?
You know, we've been super busy, like you mentioned. Trey played amazing up at Mason City, had a great career round. We played pretty well over at Valley, too. Parker Kristen, a 73 for a career low round for him. So the guys are playing well, and we're trying to play well at the right time of the season, which, you know, we head into conference and district next week. So that's what we're focusing on.
So, Trey, walk us through when you know that you're kind of in your bag a little bit and you're feeling like, man, I'm hitting some shots. How does that feel? What's going on in your brain?
Just feels amazing.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm playing amazing, and that's all that goes through my head, basically.
Yeah, it's you don't want it to be too good to be true, but once that golf club is going the right way, it makes golf a really fun game. So you talk about Parker having a career round as well. What do you point to? Is it just a good day? Is it just everything coming together? Is it course conditions and skill set kind of matching that? As a coach, where do you point to on those?
I think golfers, you know, we have different spots of our games that we're always working on. And you'll have days where your driver's great, but maybe your irons aren't there, or maybe your putter isn't there. And we live for those days when everything comes together. I know you were going on a golf trip. How'd that go for you?
I golfed in Washington. It went much better than I've got another one coming up. So Washington went well. So I was happy with that.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. You know, you're always looking for, can I get each part of my game lined up? And there are days where you don't. But on those days, like Trey had over in Mason City, that's what you're looking for.
I do have to confess, I also used my friend's daughter who played collegiately, her clubs. I just was told I can never tell her because they're very expensive and very nice. So I've got to confess, not naming names because they can't Google it, but good clubs are nice. So you look at that, and you look at conference-wise. You guys have had a lot of success there as you're kind of prepping into those moments. What does it take for you guys to continue to really lead the Iowa Alliance?
To just work as a team and trust each other.
How important is that from a trust perspective? I love that word because golf, sometimes you're like, okay, it's an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. So where does trust come in on the golf course?
That's a great question. You know, I think one of the things we talked about tonight is just making the smart choice for the team, because you're playing as an individual, but in the same sense, your choice affects everybody else on the team. And so we were talking about the course that we're going to play for Conference Blank, and some of those holes where if you have a bad tee shot, take the bogey. Don't try and hit the hero shot and try and make a par from the trees when in actuality that probably leads to a double bogey or worse.
Yeah, and you think, Ryder Cup week and all that, where it's more of a team concept. But that's really good, and I think from my perspective, just coming in as a weekend hack kind of is like not thinking of all those team aspects, but trusting your teammates to make the right shot for the team, not necessarily the shot that they think they can make in their mind. So, Trey, as you look at conference and getting ready for that, how important has it been to you to see winning conference titles and hopefully winning another?
Just watching other people golf is also helpful.
Yeah, and I think, Lucas, when you look at that entire team, what do you point to? Because the number one on the scorecard has changed, but consistency and success has not. What do you point that to?
Well, I mean, I think Trey just said it. You know, it's trust. It's believing that if you're not having your best day, someone else on the team is going to pick you up. I mean, we count 4, but we travel with 6. And the great thing about this year's team is all 6 guys can contribute at any moment. And so we're not leaning on just 4 and knowing that, hey, if you don't have a good day, somebody else is going to pick you up.
And this is a sport, Brandon will do a little bit of stuff on kind of some side videos and stuff. It's not one that we go on course. So I would love for you to kind of share with us, how can Bobcat fans support you and your program? A lot of great golfers in town want to support this great program. What's the best way that they can?
I mean, I think just encouraging junior golf in general is the biggest thing. I mean, bringing kids out on the course. Yep. That's what it takes, is a kid getting out there. Maybe they ride the cart, and that's what gets them out there. And then suddenly they'll play a few holes. And if you have kids that are interested in the game, definitely bring them out to the course. We're so fortunate with our courses and great places to learn all around town. So that's what it takes.
Fantastic. Well, this has been Bobcat Boys Golf. A really good season, consistent, got a lot in front of them. But thanks, Trey. Thank you, Coach Johnson. When we come back, we'll continue down and look at Bobcat cross country.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Go to adletengraving24.com. That's adletengraving24.com and grab your fall sports shirts. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print Company, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Go Cats!
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
Good call tonight, man. You too? You think what I'm thinking? Let's go to Legends for a Bobcat burger.
Hi, guys. What are we hungry for today?
I think we're going to do 2 Bobcat burgers. Whether it's pre-game or post-game.
Or during the game, it's Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live. We go from the golf course to the cross-country course. Second-year head coach Kim Hurley along with Anessa Morrison and Lily Johnson there on the end. It's time to talk some girls cross-country. You're now getting into year number 2. Kim, how do you feel the program consistency of the athletes? How is that going for you so far?
Well, it's been nice just getting into our season and kind of getting our routines kind of situated. Yep. We've been sharing a lot of girls with other sports, and so those sports are over. Yeah. So I get them all back now. And so I'm very excited to have a full team this last half of our season.
And so, Kim, when you're looking at that, when you're sharing, because, sharing is caring, we get all of that, but it's also can be difficult. When you're looking at how do you train your athletes when they're also training for another sport? How many miles do you put in? What kind of program do you do? Is it up to the athlete? Do you talk with the other coaches? How do you do that?
It's mostly between the athletes and myself, and it just depends. Some of them have each other, and so they may run after their other practices and get their miles in. But it is a tricky balance because sometimes they may put the miles in, but it might not be at the intensity the girls that are at practice are running. And but again, life is so much just that opportunity to prioritize what they love and enjoy, and so I'm thankful to have all my girls. And I always say I'm jealous when they're not here.
Yeah.
But that is also part of life.
Yes, it is. So, Anessa, are you one of those multi-sport, or are you a one sport?
Just cross country.
That's why you're up here.
For now,
yeah, coach's pet right there. So, how has it gone for you, Anessa, in growing in this year? Team lead down at Heartland Classic, #1. How has that felt for you? Kind of having that leadership role. How's the season going for you?
It's felt great. We've seen a lot of girls grow and just start to get better, and it's really fun that I'm able to kind of be there to lead them just because I've been doing it for 4 years now. But I'm really proud of these girls. A lot of the younger ones have really stepped up because we do have a very young team this year. A lot of freshmen, sophomores on varsity, and it can be a scary thing. But they've all stepped up and just done amazing. And so as a senior looking at them, I was once in their shoes, also having to do the same thing. And it's really cool to be able to see them succeed. And I'm really proud of how we've done this season, and just you can see the hard work paying off. So, yeah.
And when you look at that, was because cross country, I'm always amazed how people get to it. Some people, they love to run, and that's why they want to do it. They just enjoy it. Other people, it's to get ready for a different sport. Some people, it's friends. What was it for you that kind of drove you to the sport?
I've been running for 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
And I started at a very young age. I would run with my dad every day, and I did just smaller races on my own, half marathons, and I really enjoyed running as a sport, and I love the running community. So for me, running has been in my life for a very long time. But like you said, I really do respect the girls who that's not the case, because it's a very hard sport, and it's a very honest sport. The work you put in is directly shown at the races. So if it's not something you've been doing for a long time, it's very intimidating to go into, which is why it's so amazing that we have so many young girls that are trying it and succeeding at it.
Yeah, because in basketball you can get a lucky shot.
Yeah.
In football you may pick up a fumble. In cross country there are no lucky runs.
You can't fake running.
No, you cannot,
unless
you take a cab and then you can get caught, as they did in the New York Marathon many years ago. Well, thank you very much, Anessa. I'm going to have you hand over the headset to Lily there. But while they're doing that, Kim, you talk one of your senior leaders there. As a coach, how proud does that make you of a senior looking back and trying to lift up the underclassmen?
Man, don't talk about seniors already. I'm already counting down how many days I get with this young lady. I have 7 seniors this year, but Anessa has just been a very special young lady. I can always count on her and her leadership, no matter what situation we may be in. She takes all of the girls under her wing and is just very thoughtful. She's the one who gets them up and going and making sure that they do their cool downs and all of those types of things. She's also just so dedicated. She was in Armenia all summer, and she and I got to kind of have a lot of one-on-one coaching by way of Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Every day. How did the run go? She had can I tell on you? She had a 1-mile route.
Okay.
So all of those miles she put in pretty much in the same place, just with different workouts in those miles and hills on gravel. And so just her desire to have a strong senior year really showed through. And I was super proud of her.
Well, you're lucky you already handed off the headset. This is about to turn into an Armenia podcast or a broadcast, and I just want to know a lot more things. But we'll go to Lily. Lily, again, are you a single sport athlete, or are you one of those that shares?
I also do dance team.
Okay, dance. That's an interesting one. You've had a lot of success on the dance team has had a lot of success as well. Is there any crossover between dance and cross country? If so, what do you think that is?
Yeah, there's some crossover, but I just kind of have to manage it, and I've gotten better at it, and I kind of know what I need to I run on my own sometimes now when I do miss cross country practice.
Yeah.
So
Is it hard to match that same intensity when you're running on your own versus running as a team?
Yeah, I definitely get pushed more when I'm running with my team, and I think like mentally it's just easier to run with them because you're like, I have to stick with them, like I can do it more.
Yeah, there is that thing that people around you can always allow you to get to that next gear when you don't think it's there. Looking at your season, just personally, where do you feel like you are? Do you have any personal goals by the time you're out this season?
I really just want to keep chipping down time and just getting lower run. Yeah.
So do you think your best race is on a flatter course or with something with a little bit more hills? Your strength as a runner, where are you at? What do you prefer?
Probably a flatter course.
That is the most honest answer we're going to get. If you were going to tell me hills, I was going to call you a liar because nobody wants to do hills. Well, fantastic. This girls cross country, again, it's great to hear, Kim. You're helping to build the program. I know talking to even some junior high parents, getting to do some workouts with you all. So kind of building that program up and really appreciative of all the time, ladies. This has been Girls Cross Country. Thank you so much. When we come back, we'll flip to the guys on cross country here on Bobcat Live.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, we take care of you like family. We're all about personal service, going above and beyond for our members. Whether it's home, auto, or other financial services, we're here for you. Take advantage of our always low interest rates or exclusive perks being a member can bring. Unlike others within personal services, at Lennox Employees Credit Union, we're all about that personal service. We find great joy meeting with our members to discuss their financial needs or big dreams. It's easy to become a member. Stop in today. Lennox Employees Credit Union, our family place.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Go to AdletEngraving24.com. That's AdletEngraving24.com and grab your fall sports shirts. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print Company, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Go Cats!
Welcome back. That sigh of relief you hear is the sun went kind of behind the trees so I can see things again. But luckily we're joined by head coach of boys cross country Chad Pedig and junior runner Preston Johnson. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming in. One of the things that's been really fun to watch the season, really how it unfolds. And Chad, you were down at Central, 20-plus teams running. You were one of 3 teams to have 2 runners in the top 10 in that meet, both with Carter and Preston. What can you say about your top 2 runners right now? And then we'll look at the supporting cast as well.
Well, you know, there was 34 teams.
34 teams.
From all over the Midwest, a couple from Missouri, Omaha, and those 2, they ran with some elite runners, and they proved that they belong there, and they proved that they themselves are elite. Of course, Preston ran shoulder to shoulder with the number 7 guy in the country now.
Yeah.
And competed with him all the way to the last quarter mile. So, very happy with their efforts, and it was fun. It was fun just to sit back and smile and say, and watch their races unfold and how they attacked it, and it was a good day for him.
And then you look at the senior, Carter Nunn. He has had such a consistent senior year on the course. What can you say really about his leadership?
He's just matured a lot as a runner. He always had talent, and then, I think last time we talked, he talked about how he's focused this year, and really, we always call it dotting the I's and crossing the T's, doing all the little things you need to do to be an elite runner, and he's put himself in a good position.
And Preston, now we're going to talk to you a little bit. You had a really solid sophomore year going into state, and then, of course, illness is just not fun. It's not fun. And you take a situation where I know you had big expectations of yourself and just your body didn't cooperate. How have you learned, or what have you learned over the summer to get you prepped, and really over the entire off season to get prepped for a really memorable junior year?
For sure, yeah. The big thing this season was just trying to make sure I do all the little things like sleep, weightlifting, like mobility, all those little things that add up, and make sure you don't get injury, sickness, all those little things that really add up towards the end of the season.
And I know I was talking to your grandfather about some of your training, and he talks about no junior talks more about sleep than Preston is getting those things in. But you look at Chad, you and I were talking the first time you were on this year, and Preston's ranking just in high school was way low just because of the way the state does it, and the way the state track meet or the cross country meet results came out. He's sitting at 3 right now, and Carter's I think 21st, right in that. What are you seeing from Preston's dedication that's allowed him to get back to where his talent belongs?
Yeah, so there's about 4,200 runners, male runners in cross country in Iowa. There's about 8 that can do what he can do. 10 if I'm not offending any of the competition. And when you look at that group, they just focus differently than everybody else. That's what separates them. It's almost I wouldn't even say it's a collegiate mindset. It's almost a professional mindset. He's talking about getting his homework done so he doesn't have to stay up late. He literally he looks at every decision he makes. He filters through his running. How does this affect my running? How does this affect my recovery? How does this affect tomorrow's practice? How does it affect next week's race? And that is an elite level of thinking, and it pays off. I mean, that's why you're able to be one of the top 3 in 4A and one of the top 5 or 6 guys in the entire state right now. So it's impressive. It's fun to watch, and there are times where I just sit back and I told him today. I said he had a comment, and I said high schoolers just don't think that way. You know, it's just amazing. So it's fun, and very proud of him and his dedication. That's the other thing, is it takes dedication and discipline to do that. He makes tough choices sometimes and makes sacrifices, but he has a goal, and I'm going to give his mom credit for this, because we were talking the other day, and I said sometimes I wish he would just relax about those things and enjoy being a high schooler, and she said those things are what bring him joy. Yeah. The little details are what make him excited, and it's not. He doesn't view it as a negative. Yep. And as it's just something I have to do to be the best.
And Preston, do you have a person, a memory of where that kind of clicked for you, or is it just always kind of been your mindset?
Yeah, I'd say when it all kind of clicked was last year at Ames. At the beginning of my sophomore year, I'd been running like 17-minute 5Ks, but I opened up the season running 15:03, and that's when I realized that I could really start dialing everything in and do something special these next few years.
So I'm really intrigued. What I love about cross country is it's a long enough race that it's broken into segments. You have to have a mindset of where you want to be throughout. How do you look at a race as far as how do you chop that up to get to where you want to be, the time you want to get to?
Yeah, so usually it's just get out hard, and then from there it's just find find where that top guy is and try to stick with him for as long as possible and then close off of that.
So where do you think the strength of your race is? Is it in that back? Is it in the kick? Is it in that initial just staying on, that perseverance, that grittiness, just to be able to stay no matter what pace they go at?
Yeah, I'd say one of my biggest strengths is probably just being able to do it for a really long time, fast pace for a really long time. Where I kind of start to fall off is when it's a quick burst towards the end or towards the middle, when they can kind of make some gaps on me there.
And so you hear somebody so self-aware, yet a leader, is you're looking at really to get to the next step as the Bobcats unit is working really hard at getting that supporting group to be there as well. You've got your top two that have kind of separated themselves. What are you doing in a coach's mindset to make sure the whole team's peaking in those final meets that matter the most?
Yeah. So we host districts, so we have quite a bit of data on what it takes to qualify from Marshalltown's district from our course, and it's 17:30. You have to have all 5 guys at that 17:30 or faster. And you have to be in the top 30 for sure, preferably top 25. Yep. And so that's kind of our working on closing that gap, trying to get us all to that 17:30 mark. And that doesn't even guarantee you a state bid, but at least gives you a shot. And so we've got a couple guys who have gotten to 18, new guys who have gotten down to 18, and we have a few more weeks. Had a great workout today. And we'll get a couple more good workouts in, but we're they're certainly trying to close that gap and do everything they can, but and we'll just see if we get it, if we have the time to do that. But we know the mark is out there. We know what we have to do to make it, and we'll just shoot for it.
And I feel like I could ask the question, hey, what are your goals this year? You're at the level where if your goal has to be to try to win state, right? That's kind of the answer if you're at that level. So I'll go to you, Coach. What is your goal for Carter, for Preston, for the team this year?
Well, we'd like to get the team, and duplicate last year. That was a goal that they set right away. Of course, we have a lot of new parts on it, and it's just a matter of whether or not we have the time to get all those new parts together. Obviously, we want to see Preston at the top of that podium. He's got a fantastic chance at it. There's just a handful of guys, like I said, who can do what he can do. It'll come down to, I think if you line those 4 or 5 guys up, it could be a different race every single time. So it really is going to come down to who's got it that day. And Carter, we definitely feel like he deserves to be in that conversation of top 15. He's kind of in a spot where there could be 10 guys fighting for those 5 final spots on the podium, and it'll just kind of come down to how it turns out that day, who didn't get boxed in, who had their A game at that moment, and it's kind of the same thing with those top 3 or 4 guys. It'll come down to who has their A game at that moment, and even their A game, the other guys train too. The other guys have the same dreams. The other guys have the same goals. These elite guys, there are no secrets. They actually are friends. They know each other. They follow each other on social media. They know their workouts. They know. So you have to keep that in mind. And just as long as everybody can walk away and say they gave it their best shot, I think I'll be happy as a coach. And they may not be at first, but we'll deal with that. But you just want them to give it their best shot and see where that happens, where that leads them.
All right, Preston, last question, and we're going to eliminate the local course. You've destroyed Ames's course a couple different times with some really fast times. Do you have a favorite course in the state outside of course, Marshalltown's?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I'd say it changes like all the time, just based on how I'm feeling during the races. It's definitely bias.
Yeah.
But the Marshalltown course I really like. Central is a nice one, but it really just depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah, that's all. It's always the cool thing about cross country is you go to a different course and it's a different sport. Yeah.
It's for him. It's about the racing.
Yeah.
It's about putting those other 4 or 5 guys next to him and seeing who's best that day, and he would race them wherever.
Well, I speak for all Bobcat fans. We definitely hope you're the best in the state meet at Fort Dodge, but lots of opportunities. Like you said, qualifiers are here in Marshalltown this year. Coach, you want to give a plug for how fans can come out and watch that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the guys would appreciate everyone's support. We had a great crowd there last year, and the atmosphere was fantastic. And they talk about it. They'll never forget that feeling when it was announced that we made it as a team, and to have the community there and the support and the cheers. So yeah, they certainly would appreciate that again this year. That's in 4 weeks.
Perfect. 4 weeks away. See if the Cats can punch the ticket to state and bring home some hardware. Thank you, Chad Pedic and Junior Preston Johnson. When we come back, I think we're going to bump Set and Spike with the Marshalltown girls Bobcat volleyball team here on KFJB-TV.
Go to AdletEngraving24.com. That's AdletEngraving24.com and grab your fall sports shirts. Adlet Engraving and Screen Print Company, 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Go Cats!
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
YMCC, competitive athletics, affordable tuition, on-campus living, online courses plus 2 campus locations, unique programs, career training, small classes, short-term hands-on training. Choose MCC.
I feel like I've been saying it a lot lately.
I know. Welcome back. We were being ridiculed here. I'm with Coach Jen O'Neill. She was being told that she needed to throw out a 6-7. Last week I accidentally did it and was mocked by the crowd, so I won't do that on accident again. But we got it out of the way. They said they'd buy you something, I think.
Crumble cookie. They
Crumble
said
cookie.
I actually throw it in every once in a while at practice and surprise them. And they're like, oh, she did it. So we'll see if I can work it in, Morgan. It'll be for you.
And feel free to throw in a crumble cookie when you're up here on Bobcat Live. I'd love that as well.
Yep.
So let's talk volleyball. Tuesday night, great victory, 3-1 over Mason City. It was close. That 3-1 makes it sound like it was a kind of a lopsided affair. When I was watching, it sure was. It was back and forth. What can you say about that match?
Yeah, it was fun. First set, I think we ended up 30-28, and we were past the 25 mark, and it was back and forth and back and forth. And I looked at my assistant coaches on the bench. I'm like, well, this is fun. And Casey Moberly kind of gave me a look like, what? I'm like, no, like, this is fun. Yeah. Fun and competitive. And I think that's what I love about the game and how we just never gave up. We'd get down a little bit. They'd get down a little bit. So actually, I like it better when it's competitive and fun. I thought that we played really well, did some things really well. We had some key moments with some serving, not so key moments with some serving. I think we missed the most serves in that match that we've missed all year. So obviously something we've been talking about the last couple of days. But yeah, really proud of them. Like, that was a win that we really needed to have for our conference, and I am definitely glad to get that one out of the way. I mean, Mason City is a good team, and always a good team. So yeah, happy to come away with a win.
And so, Jim, when you look at that, saying, missing most serves that you missed all year, is that something you can put your thumb on, hey, we did this, or is it simply we were off?
No, I do think serving was definitely off for us. I don't think our whole game was off. I think we did some things really, really well. it's easy to pick on the things that don't go well, you know, because that's kind of what sticks in your head. And we talk about it, like for us too, when it comes to missing serves or if something's not going well, most of the time it's our mindset then that we need to shift. And we actually talked about that tonight, like mindset matters. We were doing a drill tonight and I was kind of keeping some stats on the drill, and then we looked at the data and I'm like, what do you see? And you know, they kind of evaluated a little bit and I said, what does this tell you? And actually I think it was Morgan who was like, mindset. I'm like, yes, mindset matters. Good job. So it's not everything went horribly wrong. It's here are some things that we can pinpoint and continue to work on. And I think we get something to work on every match, which I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
And one thing you talk about mindset, it feels like the volleyball team is the single most positive team, and not just being around, but in the way that they talk about culture. Positive always sneaks its way into the vocabulary. What would you point to that mindset of positivity? How has that positively affected the team?
Can't say that word enough, can we? It's everything, honestly. And they knew that coming into the season. I mean, we had a lot of conversations around, you know, drawing from experiences and what do you want this season to be like? And I attribute a lot to our 3 seniors. You know, they came in, they kind of said, we know what kind of culture we've been in before, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And we kind of know what we want to establish. And we also knew that we were going to be a younger, more inexperienced varsity level team. And so if you don't have that culture and that mindset, lots of things can go wrong. And everybody in the gym, and I'm talking freshman level all the way up to varsity, they live it every single day, and it has been an absolute joy to be around them all year.
And so there is still a lot in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the keys are just for you guys to get to where you want to go?
I think continuing to challenge ourselves. We've kind of started to do that a lot now that we're about halfway through. Maybe they don't really love some of the drills that we're doing or some of the things that we're doing in the gym, but we always talk about the reason for it, you know, the purpose behind it, the why behind it, and they're really getting that, and they're starting to actually bring that up. And so I think it's don't be satisfied with where we are, continue to challenge ourselves, because we're going to continue to see some really good teams. Like we play number 10 Cedar Falls on Saturday. That's going to be a challenge for us, but we don't really look at that as, oh my gosh, it's number 10 Cedar Falls. We're looking at, okay, that's another team on the other side of the court. We continue to take care of our side. Good things will happen.
And so you talked about senior leadership. Right after this, we're going to bring Gianna up, one of your seniors. What can you say about those seniors on your team?
Yeah, I think I talked about this before the match on Tuesday too. Both Gianna and Harper are kind of playing roles that maybe they didn't see coming at the beginning of the season, and they have stepped into them and have just risen to the occasion. I can't speak enough about how much I am so proud of the work that they put in and what they've truly embraced. And then Kinsley is, I think I said this Tuesday night too, I just feel like she is clutch a lot of times. She had 16 kills on Tuesday. That is insane. She just had a great
That'll get
game.
you arrested
some places. Right, exactly. Yeah, she definitely was loaded and ready to go. So I can't say enough about them, really. Like I could go on and brag about them if you want me to for the rest of the night. I know James asked me to talk a lot, so he didn't have to be up here very long. Sorry, James, throw you under the bus. But I honestly, and what they bring, then also the other kids are bringing as well. Yep. You know, like, I don't know, like come to our gym sometime. Anybody, come on in. It is like the best place to be.
If you go in there, and I've gone in when they're practicing, it is a full gym.
Yeah.
It is a full gym. There are good things happening with the Marshalltown volleyball team. When we come back, we're going to talk with senior. We're going to talk to Gianna, but we're also going to talk to a freshman, Brooklyn Smith, when we come back on Bobcat Live.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun. From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Welcome into Bobcat Live. We are still in the volleyball team, but we've got senior Gianna Bowney along with Brooklyn Smith, the lone freshman on the team. But I want to start with the important things. So in college, I was the shortest person on the basketball team. I know it's hard to say, and I was always called 5'6". I am 5'7". They would say there were 6'2" people. They'd call them 6'4". They'd just lie for all the tall people. We were just on Bound. And they did you dirty. You say you're how tall?
5'4".
What does Bound say you are?
5'3".
She's 5'4", ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure that Bound and the high school world knows that. Gianna Bowney is 5'4". Brooklyn Smith says you're 5'10". Is that accurate?
I think so.
That is tall. So we go into volleyball. Gianna, you're a senior here. You've got that leadership. You've heard all the positive things that Coach Jen has said about you. What has been most important for you this year on the volleyball team?
For me, I think energy and like mental things about volleyball is the most important. Like the past years, I've like the mental part hasn't been very good. It's been very low, and I think this year it's a big step from the past.
And really in your role at the libero and being able to pass, be able to dig out, to me, if I knew nothing about volleyball and I said, what position would a center fielder on softball field play on volleyball? They seem like there's a lot of similarities there. What is it about that libero position that really find yourself being successful at?
I think it's like kind of reading the ball, because that's what I have to do in softball mainly. And yeah, volleyball is not my main sport, but it's kind of in that position, being libero, it's easy to correlate with being center. Yeah,
because it's everything kind of flows with you. And how does it feel, Brooklyn being the only freshman I know, incredibly close, how does it feel to have her on the team?
Honestly, it's so nice. I've been waiting for this, waiting to play with Brooklyn. I feel like that my energy is just so much better. She knows me. She knows how to pick me up. I know how to pick her up. And it just works so much better.
And being the lone freshman, is that a badge of honor? Is it overwhelming? Is it just is what it is? How are you adjusting to that?
I think I'm adjusting well. I think it's been really nice to have a kind group of seniors and upperclassmen to help me stay positive on the court, being younger.
And no one hazes you or makes you do anything, make you go get things for them?
No, not really. Kendall likes to make me put away the net.
All right, we're throwing Kendall under the bus. I like it. Any other tea that needs to be spilled or anything here? We need to say anything else? No? All right.
I make Eliza do a lot of stuff.
I like it. So big goals still in front of you, ladies. A lot of volleyball has been played. A lot of volleyball still to be played. What's your goal, Gianna, for the rest of the season?
I would say keep up the energy and just pushing ourselves because we can be better. You can always be better. And, yeah, we just want that conference tournament home.
That's a big one here. And then, of course, Ames is the one that just kind of stepped in the way, beat them a couple years ago. They got the better of us this year. But that is the one thing standing in our way. Brooklyn, what's your big goal for the end of the year?
I think my goal for the end of the year is to continue getting better at hitting the other way, because I've been pretty consistent at hitting one way, but I think we've been improving, me and Lauren, at getting better at the setter connection to hit more cross.
And it's all those big things, and you've got to be really excited just to see how she's going to continue to grow over these next. Yeah, you can always tell that kind of that big sister vibe when you look at somebody that you know that's going to be just pretty good and she's just scratching the surface. Yeah, you can see the pride just beaming off of you. Well, this has been Volleyball. Please come out and support these ladies. There's a lot of good volleyball that's been played, and there's a lot more to be played. Thank you, Gianna. Thank you, Brooklyn. When we come back, we are going to see girls tennis one more time here on Bobcat Live.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live for our final segment here tonight. Rocking the headband for James here, but we're with Coach James Christensen and Junior Kaylin Coleman of the Bobcat girls tennis team. Kaylin, thank you so much for being on. I'd love to know, as you looked at your junior year, looking in the rear view, how did this season go for you?
I think it went pretty well, especially only playing my freshman year and then taking a break and then kind of taking it more seriously my junior year. I think I had a lot of improvement over the season. So,
did you just hear that Coach Christensen was coming out to coach the girls tennis team? Is like, I have got to be on that team. Is that what brought you out of retirement?
That was definitely my motivator, yes.
That's what I figured. I heard that a lot, actually, a lot of motivation. So coming back after that year, James, your first year coaching her, what can you say specifically about Kaylin and her growth over the year?
Well, she's a very cerebral tennis player. She thinks a lot. She definitely likes to get into the particulars of, what her forehand looks like, what her backhand's looking like, what her serve is. So she definitely gets into the technical aspects of it. She wants to learn. She wants to get better. She puts in a lot of time, during practice, outside of practice, and you can just tell it matters to her. And that's what you love to see as a coach. She improved a lot as the year went on, and she's just a competitor. Got into a lot of close matches this year, and can't wait to see what she's able to do next year.
So, Kaylin, you take a year off. You want to get back into it. Now you've got that taste, and as Coach said, some close matches. Do you already have an idea of what you want to work on in the off season to come back at it next year?
Definitely, yeah. I want to work more on my serving and just fundamentals, like getting more consistent on my forehand and my backhand, and then working on like special shots like my drop shot and my cut shot.
And then James, now it's going to be your second year coaching girls tennis with a full off season. Is your mind starting to go already to like, okay, these are some things that we can do to get prepped and ready?
Yeah, number one. I mean, we had our award banquet earlier this evening, and my challenge to the girls were to, first of all, compete in other sports. They've got the chance this winter and this spring, now that we don't have a season, to join up with basketball, with wrestling, with track, with golf, all those other sports that they could be a part of. And if they're not in one of those sports, they need to be in our strength and conditioning program. They need to be getting faster. They need to be getting stronger. And then this summer, they're going to have a whole off season, hopefully, to be able to jump in with our high school program and with Bobcat Tennis Academy, and hopefully show up August 4th next year with some higher skills.
Kaylin, are you going to take advantage of playing another sport in that spring season, or are you just going to throw around a lot of weight in the weight room? What's your plan?
Definitely both. I'll have a lot of off-season work for softball as well, because I'll get into that during the summer. Yep. So not necessarily during the spring, but I'll have a lot of work cut out for me for softball in the summer.
You heard Kaylin right there. She'll be benching 350 by softball season, knocking dingers out of here, and then destroying people at the net next year. Well, thank you both very much for joining us here on Bobcat Live. That does it for tonight here at Wayward Social. See us at Leonard Cole Field tomorrow night as we seek to take down Cedar Rapids Kennedy. Thank you very much. It was a great night here at Wayward.